always crooked. Ha, Satnam, beautiful friends. Hopefully you can hear me. Somebody let me know that you can hear me. I'm going to take that as you can hear me. Hopefully. Sound check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sound check. Nobody's saying anything. Oh, we should be good. Feeling fabulous, says somebody in the chat room. Doesn't say sound fabulous. Says, okay, you can hear me, says Deborah Stanley. Thank you, Deborah Stanley. Satnam, beautiful friends, welcome. So, as I predicted a while back, hailstorms. Hailstorms broke vehicle windows in Alberta, excuse me, while South Korea experienced the heaviest rains in an 80-year history, killing 7 people thus far. The United Nations is warning you of dangerous conspiracy theories. Are they getting a little nervous? I think so. The United States stadiums are about to roll out a biometric face recognition system. Creepy. And only 2 months worth of water is supposedly left in western states in the United States. What's next? Well, the full moon madness is upon us, my beautiful friends, and it is upon us. And the evildoers wish to unleash, of course, their 4 horsemen of the apocalyptic times upon us. But what can we expect to happen in the near future? What can you expect to happen in the near future? What can we expect to happen together? I told you crazy times were upon us, did I not? Crazy times are so upon us, and it's happening. It's happening like never before, and we have a full moon coming up on the 11th, which is just going to intensify everything. Stay tuned. I have lots of new predictions for you, and I welcome you all back to my channel, and I welcome you to my channel if you happen to be new to the channel. My name is Joseph Tittel, aka Spiritman JT, here to bring you love, light, truth, predictions, and prophecy. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe down below, click the bell followed by all, check your cellular devices to ensure that you get notifications. And even if you've done all that, you should know that I am here every Tuesday, approximately now 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time. So if I don't show up on your notifications, make sure you run right to my channel and check everything. Make sure you weren't suddenly unsubscribed by the algorithms. Give that like button a click down below. Give me a smash on that like button, please, because when you do, it'll show more videos of mine on your feed along with things similar so that you get the right stuff showing up on your feeds so it don't disappear. So you get notifications, even though that might not have anything to do with it, but it could. So also down below, you'll find all the links to my social media, including the Awaken Your Spirit community on Subscribestar. And I appreciate and love each and every one of you for all the love and support that you bring to me in the ways that you do. For being a part of the tribe and hitting that subscribe. Also, you can... It's funny how people are so delayed in the chat. They must have just hopped on. I can hear you. I said that 5 minutes ago. But thank you. I'm glad that you can hear me. So make sure you check my links down below again. Also down below, you'll find a link to my newsletter, the most recent one. There's actually some special offers in there. Almost all the slots are filled, including for my class that comes up on the full moon, the 11th. Transform into abundance and saying yes to you. If you truly want to learn how to work with the law of attraction and have special guided meditations to ensure that you clear the blockages that have been holding you back for all so long, make sure you check out that class. The newsletter down below, when you click on that on the top left corner, when you open it up, you can subscribe to the newsletter. You're going to want to subscribe to my newsletter. It's free, and I put it out once a month, sometimes twice a month, with different videos that you may have missed, an energy update message that I channel through from Spirit, and sometimes special offers, classes, and everything else. So check that all out. So today's topics are going to include, of course, more about the weather, some information about New York City, of course, the trumpet that just started to blow again, and so much more on this episode number 27 of Tittle Teatime Predictions Updates. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We had some storms today, big storms. Took out the power, and then I didn't have no power because my computer died. I got my positive energy tea going on, so I didn't get to as much time to prepare as I normally do. But let me tell you a little bit about what we're closing in on. We are closing in on a very powerful August 11th full moon, heading into the waning moon cycle. The energies are intensifying while solar storms begin to batter our planet during this Great Awakening Phase 3. That's right, Great Awakening Phase 3. Emotions are running rapidly, as is the darkness that wishes to control humanity while attempting to take out those who cannot and will not be controlled, like us. We will not, cannot be controlled. A time of great truth being revealed is upon us, and this is evident in the recent United States FBI KGB raid on number 45. If y'all know about that, I'm sure you do by now. Weather systems are whipping up unprecedented storms and bringing floods, destruction globally. This is just the beginning of these great storms heading our way over the next few months, into next year too. Storms that some shifts our weather like that. You're going to see weather shift like that, especially with the wintertime coming up. And I will do a new weather video sometime soon. But make sure you check out my last weather video. I warned you a long time ago about the times and the struggles that we were going to face in the future. Well, my friends, that future is here now. And soon the world will dive into a raging river of challenges. No matter how difficult these challenges ahead are going to be, these challenging events that are heading our way, that are going to take place, together we can work to fight, to get our power back. That's the most important. And our freedoms. Amen to that, right? We must together know that we will rise up from these challenges like the phoenix rises up from the ashes. This includes that which the evildoers do to bring upon us from every angle they possibly can, whether it be from the dark, evil sides of governments, whether it be the WEF or WHO or whatever it may be. There's a lot of forces that are at work here on the planet, a lot of forces, and that includes good forces as well. We will rise up as the truckers and the Dutch farmers have been rising up. And it's going to happen. I've been saying this for 10 years. We're at that point, my friends. Hold on tight, because, my dear friends, they wish to unleash these 4 horsemen of the apocalypse upon us, which they already did. As if you look at the prophecy, they already started to begin to do that. And now they want to unleash the rest. To destroy and conquer the prophecies, and bring on the prophecies of the new earth and the new earth nation. A new earth where people actually finally do come together in pure love, the way we need it to be, after our defeat of the evildoers who truly want us all dead. That's what they want. That's what they want for us. But that's not going to happen, because as we step into this full moon energy in a few days, we will begin to witness the dark ones scrambling for cover, to cover up their tracks more than anything, to keep truth from us, to keep truth from our view, and to form a false flying flag of fear attack upon us, especially upon the United States. The full moon energy will bring major shifts on the planet in the way of our weather systems. Yes, we have, of course, been seeing floods, earthquakes, and things like that, and shattering hail, window shattering hail. Hail. If you saw that hail in ALBERTA, oh my Lord, exactly what my visions were showing me. And that's just the beginning. That's just ALBERTA. Hold on tight. That's coming soon. It's coming now. We're in the now with that weather kind of stuff. It's a time for us again to come together, a time for us to help one another, a time of change that is so desperately needed on the planet and for all of us, in order for us all together to reach abundance, joy, and happiness, which we so deserve to have, all of us. So once again, if you're new to the channel, I welcome you. I welcome you back to the channel. Don't forget to give that like button a smash, and don't forget to hit that subscribe, the bell, and all. And sign up for my newsletter, really important. So if anything happens, you know that you'll be able to get in contact with me through the newsletter, because I will always send that out and update you with what's going on in the world. So let's move on. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is the Mercedes-Benz stadiums in Atlanta and in Denver are already planning to roll out this biometric system. Biometric system reads your face. It's face recognition at its best. And this is their plan. They're rolling it out. And I saw someone in the chat say that won't happen. You watch. You watch. They're going to implement it because people that want to go to the football game or the concert so bad, they're going to have no problem with it. You know, you got to remember that, you know, you may be awake and we're all awakened, but so many others are not. Not yet, though. Not yet, but they will be. This, I assure you. I said that back in 2009, 2000, not 2009. Yeah, 2009. And it's happening. We're at that time. It took a while, took over a decade, but it's definitely happening. So that this is what's already happening in China. China already has biometric systems in store for the whole country. And recently, you know, JB says, or no, it wasn't that. It was Pelosi, that crazy drunk, saying that, you know, China has got so many freedoms and they're so free there. And I'm like, what the hell are you smoking, lady? Like, where do you get that freedoms? They can't walk across the street and jaywalk without getting a ticket in the mail or their social credit score being affected. That same social credit score that they want to put in store here in the United States of America and globally, Canada and so forth. Canada's already pushing that forward with Devil Trudeau, who Spirit said, you know, because people constantly mention it in the comments, he needs to go, blah, blah, blah. Well, Spirit said he's not going to be there long. So I don't know when. I didn't get any answers on that. But that's why it's important to be here every week, to be in tune, because I get more information, new stuff, or I get additional information about old stuff. So, biometrics, face recognition. That is so creepy. Like creepy. I'm sorry. I don't, you know, I mean, I see they're going to make it look good. But they're going to thank you, CC. Thank you, CC, for your chat cash. And anybody else that did that I missed. And if I missed you, sorry. I don't think anybody did, but thank you. Let me put that on the right chat. So, you know, they're going to make it look like, oh, it's good, you know, we'll catch crime, you know, so forth. You know, look at the bombing, the marathon bombing in Boston that happened. How do you think that they caught them people, that guy? How do you think they found him? Face recognition systems. They already have it in store. They already have it in New York City. New York City is one of my big predictions today, so stay tuned for that one. Let's move on away from biometrics, because the four horsemen of the apocalypse, bringing the first four of the seven seals, because if you look at the Bible and prophecy, the four horsemen come, and when they do, they break the seven seals. And I don't believe those seals have quite been broken, but I do believe those horsemen are here. Some of them. If you look at the one war is definitely here. Famine is here. I mean, it's here. We're not seeing it everywhere, but it's happening. It's happening, and it's going to happen on unprecedented levels. So with these four horsemen being unleashed upon the earth, we can clearly see that by now. We can see that. We can see that it's happening. You don't even need to be asleep to see that happening. You'd have to be like totally comatose to not see this. But the goal of the elite is, of course, what I've been predicting for over a decade. Famine, disease, people freezing to death. That's coming this winter. So I have predictions on that, I'm sure, especially my friends in Germany. Please, my friends in Germany and everywhere else too, but they're going to try to freeze you out. And when I talk about this, Spirit, it shows me and reminds me about Texas and what happened in Texas, how they froze them out and took off their power grid. So I'm talking about Germany, and Spirit's reminded me about that. So that would be, again, likely what Spirit's showing me, a prediction that in Germany, they're going to have severe cold come in overnight and take out their power, causing freezing, while their people are already starving and standing in food lines to get food and water. And I had visions of that over a year ago, if you remember, where I said there was going to be something like the Great Depression returning. And that Great Depression, and thank you, T-Ran, thank you for your chat cash donation. I hope I said your name right and didn't butcher it. But it sounds like T-Ran. Tyron. That's probably it. Anyway, going back to people freezing in Germany, and Spirit showing me that now and giving me that feeling. I said that there'd be lines for food and water, and we're heading there. Thank you, Pam, with infinite love and gratitude. The goal of the elite has been exactly what I've been predicting and exactly what's beginning to happen, sadly. They want to destroy 90% of all of us on this planet. And the last, ones that survive, other than their 1% elite, are going to be the ones that they want to enslave totally, that you wait on them hand and foot. And, they're going to get their way to a certain extent before the light really takes over. The light is there already taking over certain areas. The army of angels, as I like to refer to them as, instead of Lucifer's army of darkness. And those army of angels are already starting to take control of things. But at the same time, not enough, or we would see it by now. This is why I've been warning you all to stock up on food, water, and absolutely everything and anything you could possibly need if you were suddenly unable to purchase things for a long period of time. This includes everything. Like I said, everything and anything that you could run out of that you would have to have if suddenly you couldn't have access to it for, say, a couple months or the whole entire winter. So now's the time. Hopefully you have enough toilet paper from 2020 still. But everything else, you're going to need everything else. Big time. This brings me to this week's news that aligns with predictions and prophecies, starting with our friends in Japan. Last week, I said Spirit showed me a vision of earthquake activity identical to that which brought the March 11th, 2011 quake and tsunami to Japan. You remember me saying that last week? Well, one of you wonderful people sent me a link to Dutch Sense, who does earthquake stuff, which I haven't seen him on eons, but somebody sent it to me and I looked at the title and it said Japan, so I had to go watch. And I watched, and Dutch literally validated exactly what I said would occur last week. I said that Spirit showed me on the map. Thank you, Tinkosen. I'm going to get these names right today. With infinite love and gratitude for your chat cash support and love. So Dutch validated exactly what I said last week. That I saw when I was doing my map scrying, a term coined by me, that Spirit was showing me the same area underneath the ocean that was having activity prior to the March 11th, 2011 quake and tsunami. And again, that exact activity is repeating itself. Does that mean that Japan's going to get another quake and tsunami? Could be, but I got more information about that. So I know our friends in Japan watch closely. They also take my videos and make them their own and make money off of it, which is not cool at all. So that's not cool. Anyway, someone sent me that and a warning that I'm going to put out to all my Japanese friends and people following to please be safe. Just like everywhere else, be prepared and have a plan. You must have a plan. Like what happens? If water comes, where are you going to go? Like you have to have a plan. You have to look at every option because, we are at a time where the climate is shifting like never before. So no matter where you live, you're never safe from Mother Nature's wrath. If you're not prepared, it can happen. Now we see it. It doesn't matter where you're at now. Nobody is free from the wrath of Mother Earth. Quakes that are happening in places they never happened before. Something, again, I said long time ago. And that's just becoming more intense and more intense. But going back to our friends in Japan, Spirit showed me that great storms, we know great storms have already sent floods and such to Japan recently, over the past month. But Spirit showed me today that greater storm is coming. A greater storm is coming, and this will cause what I saw today in my visions, the side of a mountain, like literally crumbling and collapsing into the water. And I've had these visions before, but today I was able to narrow that down to Japan specifically. This is why doing this every week and tuning in every week, I get more information and then we can pinpoint things a little better with timing and place. So, where was I? I lost my spot, sorry. So a mountain collapsing into the water, and I saw a mudslide demolishing an entire village. And this thing was huge. And it's probably the same thing crumbling into the sea, but it's probably all connected to the same. Spirit showed me a vision of these pounding rainstorms and really literally like rain bombs. If you're not familiar with rain bombs, look them up. They're quite creepy. Rain bombs that are accompanied with hail, of course. In the background, I saw a volcanic eruption all at the same time in my vision today. So I saw this storm. First, I saw the mudslides and all that. The village being wiped out. One of them going into the water. One of the mudslides rolling right into the ocean. Then I saw these rain bombs coming down, and in the background is where I saw a volcanic eruption. It wasn't like all of a sudden going boom eruption. It looked like something that was already erupting. Just to make sure we have that clear. Because I said there'd be a major volcanic eruption in Japan, and that it's happening. It's probably still erupting, and that's probably the vision that Spirit showed me today. So a great quake is going to hit in or near Tokyo, Japan. Again, please be prepared, my friends in Japan. And not only that, I do still see disruptions around the Fukushima and right off the coast of Japan. So that activity that I predicted last week that is now happening a few days ago, or whenever Dutch put out that video, I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, Spirit's still showing me that, and that activity getting stronger. And at the same time, Spirit shows me dominoes falling. Like literally, I see dominoes falling, hitting the dominoes and so this tells me and tells us that there's going to be a domino effect that comes from what's happening off the coast of Japan currently. That's not in my notes. So again, there's lots of things not in my notes. That's why I like to channel through live with you all. So in my previous weather prediction video, I stated that quakes would occur deep within the oceans, if you recall, both in the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean, where Spirit said 2 oceans meet. And I don't know if we came to a conclusion as to where that is, but where the Indian Ocean meets with another body of water or another ocean. And that all popped up in my mind again this morning or this afternoon when I was doing this. So these quakes have already slowly begun, according to Spirit. Those quakes underneath deep in the ocean. Spirit says we should be able to track the activity that leads up to a nearby major earthquake. So this is something y'all can put out the Dutch because he's a tracker. He tracks quakes, and this is what Spirit said, that these quakes that happen beneath the ocean, where I said the Pacific, which is probably what's happening right off the coast of Japan, and then where the Indian Ocean meets another ocean or another body of water. So once we start to see these activities and we can track them to the point of leading up to a nearby major quake. So that's kind of interesting. I don't track earthquakes, don't really know. I know there's an earthquake map. I've looked at it, but it doesn't really tell me much. That's why we have people like Dutch. One of these quakes is related to deep ocean volcanic activity. Volcanic activity has also strengthened in the past couple weeks, is what Spirit said. And Spirit said to watch for the coming solar storm that makes headlines. Now, we just had a big solar storm that made headlines. It wasn't like have a major effect. It did cause some glitches in some electronics or something, but it wasn't, this, I think it happened yesterday, maybe what's today? Maybe Sunday? I think it was yesterday. But regardless, that's not the one because I channeled this information today. So this would be something that's still coming. A coming solar storm that makes headlines. Soon after that, a great eruption and quakes will follow. Again, once we watch for this coming solar storm that makes headlines, soon after a great eruption and quakes will follow. If you remember, I talked about a great eruption in one of my videos, probably my weather video. Some of this begins now, according to Spirit, but heightens and strengthens by mid-October. So this point that we're in now is when all this activity's happening. We know it. I mean, the earthquake activity has been insane, even across the United States the past week, past 2 weeks, but especially the past week. So it's happening. Spirit says it's in the now, but it's just going to intensify more and more. As I told you back in January, when we get to September, October, look out. That's a big roller coaster ride there. It'll be interesting to see these things, though. Some of this begins now and strengthens by mid-October, and I see a vision of lava gushing from the ocean floor. And what I saw in this vision is lava coming through the ocean floor like there was a crack, and it was bubbling up at the top like the ocean was boiling, which it probably is boiling. But I guess the bubbles from the interaction of the two and steam coming up. And it looked to me not like a big blow. It looked to me like it cracked seeping out. So slowly but surely, and the more that seeps out, the more it looks like the ocean is boiling up above. So this will be a sign, according to Spirit, that must be taken seriously. For soon after, it will unleash a quake that cracks the ocean floor and sends waves in all directions. Again, something to keep an eye out on is when this lava starts to cause bubbling at the top surface of the ocean, boiling, not that it's literally boiling, but bubbling, because I guess it would do that. That would be the sign that soon it's going to unleash a great quake that sends waves in all directions. I'm not saying tsunami waves, but waves. Speaking of waves, recently, I'm not sure how recent, sometime maybe about a month ago, I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. I said that I had a vision of a huge wave, but not a tidal wave or a tsunami wave, but just a huge wave hitting the coast of Hawaii. And that actually did just occur, I think about 2 weeks ago. Might have even been a week and a half ago. So, and nobody was injured. And that's exactly the vision that I said. I said this big wave coming out of nowhere. And apparently, you know, meteorologists are baffled by how this wave, and I'm sure they know how it got there, but they say they're baffled and they don't know where this wave came from that washed over, you know, the shore and a couple houses. But again, nobody was injured. Well, Spirit showed me that a replay of that today, meaning more events are yet to hit the Hawaiian coast. Spirit says, beware of when the ring of fire begins to flare up this coming fall season, spring season for the Southern Hemisphere. This will bring with it a series of earthquakes, great quakes, according to Spirit, which Spirit says are warming up as we speak. So again, the activity's happening as we speak. The warming up, I guess, would be the underground magma, you know, boiling up. So it's happening as we speak. And it's all about how the earth and the plates shift and how they snap into place. You remember that just reminded me, just came to my mind about the, remember I told you about plates snapping together? Remember that? I vaguely just, that popped in my brain. About this, like snapping together, like hard snap together. And I think that's South America, but that's popping in my mind. So if it's popping in my mind now, it's a reminder from Spirit. This is all connected to what we're talking about here. So we got to keep an eye on that ring of fire flaring up. And this will bring with it a series of great quakes, which Spirit says is happening and warming up. Many islands will be at risk this coming season in the wintertime. Many islands will shake, including Hawaii. So earthquakes as far up as Ireland, this is what Spirit showed me today. Earthquakes as far up as Ireland. So all this activity, I feel like, is all happening at once. It might be scary for some people. You might, in some places, think it's the end of the world apocalypse. It's not. And this is just, mild compared to the years ahead. And we can't let that be a fear. We have to let that be a sign to always be prepared, always, again, be stocked up, and always have an escape plan no matter where you're at, especially those of you in a city. I mean, look at like the New York thing that's happening in New York with them telling you, putting out the PSA, warning people how to prepare for nuclear fallout. And what do they say in that video? Oh, just go into your house and close the doors. Yeah, go in the house, get off the streets, close your doors so that the elite can find their way out. Like, seriously. Like, what good is that going to do you? But it's just kind of interesting. I got more on New York in a bit. So I had a vision of something exploding on a city street. I'm not clear exactly where this was, but my feeling was that I was in the Middle East, perhaps Israel. And I saw this explosion unleashing a cloud of smoke. So it wasn't so much an explosion of fire and a bomb, but it was an explosion that unleashed this cloud of smoke. It almost looked like a smoke bomb. This is not a normal explosive, that, not at all. It wasn't like blowing things up necessarily. And I saw people scattering, holding their shirts like over their faces. Oh, Sorry, my microphone's there. I just crumbled you all. Sorry about that. I saw people covering their faces with masks, with their scarves and so forth, like try not to breathe in the smoke. But I also saw people coughing and choking at the same time, and some people falling to the ground, just, coughing, choking, falling to the ground. So I believe this is a combination of maybe chemical warfare and biological warfare. I think it's a combination of both. And hopefully, again, when this stuff comes up and we see these predictions and Spirit shows me these visions, we can hold in the light and shift this so things like this don't necessarily have to happen. Because I would rather many and most of my predictions not to come true than to come true. Sadly, it's the other way around. We can shift this so we can hold in the light. This may be Israel, perhaps, somewhere in the Middle East, but just hold in the light that whoever's making this sicko bomb thing doesn't succeed at all, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't have to happen. But my vision was very, very clear, and it looked like a combination of those two things. Some kind of weapon that puts poison out to people. And I feel like Iran and China were both in on this together, although, of course, Russia will take blame. Chicago, not the band, but the city, Illinois. Being it was storming today and the power went out, I decided I'm just going to lay down. I can't do anything. When I went to lay down, Chicago kept popping in my mind in a hauntingly way. It was like haunting. Hold on. It was like hauntingly. And I wasn't sure. It wasn't clear, but I'll tell you what I got. Chicago came to my mind as I was laying down for a nap earlier. Spirit showed me some type of great shaking coming to Chicago. I'm not clear whether Spirit meant this literally by showing us a huge, perhaps earthquake that's going to hit Chicago, whether it's an actual quake or whether it's some kind of major shaking of sorts. There could be many types of shakings. There could be political shakedowns. There could be all kinds of shakings. Spirit didn't show me. It could also be a building collapsing from like somebody making it happen. That would cause a shaking. But more than anything, weather systems, Spirit showed me, are going to batter Chicago area, bringing floods, and also something else huge is going to come out of Chicago area. I do believe that part of my vision today is of an actual earthquake. And if that's so, then Chicago is in for a big one. And I don't know if there's any history of that there. I'll have to find out. But that takes down actual structures and buildings, as I saw a collapsing of something. So again, I don't know if this shaking is literally a major earthquake hitting Chicago, or if there's a building collapsing that shakes the people, because I did see structure collapsing. We'll have to keep an eye on that and pray for those in Chicago. The waters turn red, as it says in the Bible and in prophecies and in the book of Revelation. And that just happened. Somebody sent me an article, Pennsauken Creek, that suddenly turned red because of a factory supposedly dropping red dye into the water, discharge of some sort. It's funny how they get away with this stuff. But here's the thing, and this is the only reason I brought it up and put it in my notes today, because the waters have been turning red for quite some time. This goes back to predictions I made back in 2012. And I remember it started happening back then, not long after I said it. So we've had many incidences of waters turning red. We had it last summer with that particular algae in the water. It started to change the waters red. It's happening. It's happening everywhere. So that prophecy, as per the Bible, and the water is turning red and running blood red, is happening. It's been happening. So I thought that was interesting. But it's a reminder. So even if it was a supposed accident of them accidentally dumping dye into the river, which I doubt was an accident, they probably got rid of it on purpose. So they didn't have to pay to get rid of it. And say, oh, it'll all just sink to the bottom. It won't kill the fish and all the wildlife. No, not at all. But it probably will. But we should take this as a sign, because this happened. I don't have the date. Where's the date of this? Let's see. Where is, I closed the article. Well, whatever the date is, we should take this as a sign. Anytime waters turn red anywhere, we can align this. This was from August 2nd, actually. So this is over a week old. But look at things that have happened. And the blood red that's dripping out upon humanity right now. So we can take that as a sign. The four horsemen are all about unleashing war, famine, disease, and death. And we already see the war that's been happening. We saw disease, and that's happening, and it's happening more. And I got lots of predictions that revolved around that too. But let me start with this particular story here for our friends at Hawaii that somebody sent me. The Hawaii Department of Health reports that a first rat lungworm disease case in 2020 on Maui. This goes back to 2020. I didn't realize it goes back to 2020. Somebody sent me this lungworm disease caused by rats. And I think they sent me that because there's a little bit of a rat problem here in Oak Creek Canyon. Just a little bit. They ate my car engine surround. But on the fact of diseases, odd things. Remember a while back, years ago, I said that there would be a return of the Black Plague. People were like, that's impossible, and it happened. There was a case of it somewhere in Europe. But breakout of typhus fever is another one. Big breakout of typhus fever and outbreaks of new diseases. In the past, I mentioned biological warfare. By January, the monkey bug will be declared as being such. So, I talked about it today too, biological warfare and such. But again, remember me saying January, they're gonna track it and say that that's what it is. January at the latest. Well, February at the latest, but I'm thinking January. And that's in their plans. It's in their little plan book. But so it's going to be declared as such, while new outbreaks of polio, as predicted again, become a concern as they begin to push a polio vaccine back upon kids. New York came to my mind when this was coming through to me today, and I was channeling this information. So I don't know what's happening in New York with polio, or if they're starting to vaccinate the kids for polio again, because I know they stopped doing that in 1970. I mentioned in past about ancient diseases too coming back, which like the Black Plague would be an ancient disease, which I was identified. I think it was last year the Black Plague was identified. It was in my January 2021 predictions, I believe, and then it happened sometime last summer, if I have my timing correct. But Spirit showed me another return. I mentioned a disease that would cause rashes. Remember I said there would be a disease that would cause rashes, and then another disease that would be like affect kids, and we have that happening with the kids, and the rashes would have to be in the monkey. That causes rashes, right? It's exactly what I said, but Spirit shows me that there's another outbreak that's going to occur, likely around the holidays leading into February of 2023. The timing and all this will feel very similar to what happened in 2019 and early 2020. So when did that happen? I think it was November when we started to hear about the 2020 bug, November of 2019. And then by 2020, of course, there was a lockdown, and we know what happened from there. So Spirit said some kind of outbreak like that. Again, I don't know what that is, that outbreak, but we're also going to see a similar outbreak like Ebola. I think specifically Ebola, that causes towns and countries to literally shut down on a new kind of lockdown, is what Spirit said. And I don't know what that means exactly. Sadly, I feel like this is likely going to hit Africa. Spirit says there will also be something out of the Arctic. Spirit called it the Arctic bug. The Arctic bug. And here's what Spirit said. This is a warning to those who are disturbing the sacred ancient grounds in the Arctic. Yeah, we know they're doing that. So it's a warning to them. And they're not going to heed the warning. We know they're not going to heed the warning. And they're just going to, continue to rip apart sacred ground in Antarctica and the Arctic. So famine, I told you was coming. I told you there was going to be, remember me telling you, I don't know if it was January this year or last year, I said there was going to be a big die-off that would happen of people, sadly. I mean, by millions of people being displaced. And they're going to say it's because of, the earth changes. That's why all these people are being displaced. But really, we're going to see that it's going to be related to the famine. And the famine leads to disease. Think of that. Remember that. You know, when people are malnutrition, you know, they're not, they're suffering from hunger. Their immune systems break down. They start to eat things that they're not used to eating, which causes diseases. And this would make sense to everything I just said about these outbreaks coming. India pops up in my mind strongly. India pops up. So something's coming out of India. And, you know, keep in mind, too, by the way, if we look back at history, farmland and all that, Stalin, yeah, remember that guy in history? Remember he took away farms. Yeah, Stalin took away farms. Who's doing that right now? The WEF, taking away farms. Mr. Gates himself, Lucifer's little son. It's all happening. I just thought I'd bring that up today. Stalin took away farms. What are they doing now? It seems like they're taking away farms, taking control of farms anyway. Japan popped up in my mind again today. They're going to begin to have fear revolved around famine there, and a rush to purchase goods. And that's not just going to be Japan. That's going to be a thing that's going to happen pretty much everywhere eventually. But speaking of Africa, going back to Africa, Spirit showed me a great fire coming to the land, followed by floods and some type of huge weather event near South Africa. Perhaps being an earthquake or tsunami related, not sure. I also see some type of mudslide or something similar near the ocean's edge again. I had that for Japan, but I was seeing that around Africa. And I saw land literally washing right into the ocean, like a chunk of land washing into the ocean. Excuse me, I don't know if that's tsunami related, earthquake related, or both. But a warning to those folks there, and I forgot to skip spaces on my notes. A warning to our friends in NYC, New York City. And this is important because I saw in my visions today a huge black dark cloud heading towards New York City. I'm from that East Coast. I have friends in New York and, you know, lived outside of Philadelphia. So when I see this dark cloud going, I know where it's going. It's heading towards New York City. I'm not speaking of a storm cloud either. Although I did see and predict huge floods, practically sinking taxi cabs completely, if you remember. And that's still yet to happen. But separately, this black cloud looked more like metaphorically. The cloud kind of looked like dark evil magic and Luciferian sickos bringing horrors upon the city streets. Quite honestly, I feel this darkness is coming very, very soon. Perhaps during the holiday shopping season, or even sooner, like Thanksgiving, or maybe even sooner when we hit that energy shift in mid-September. Something our friends in New York need to be safe. Hey, man, they put out a PSA warning people to prepare for nuclear attack. And also, there's some military people that I know and connect with and then also listen to that are apparently unloading like stuff for war in the middle of the nighttime in New York City. Why are they doing that? Why are they like doing this in the middle of the night? These soldiers who went to New York supposedly for a week are calling their wives and saying, we are not allowed to leave. And they've been there for weeks now. A week turned into weeks. And they're doing stuff in the middle of the night. So that's all a sign right there. Now, if you remember, I previously predicted a tunnel flood and potential tunnel collapse of New York as well. Likely the Lincoln Tunnel. But there's a couple tunnels there. I believe these events are all coming, and I believe they're all connected to the same event. I don't know when they're coming, but I think it's coming really soon. And this wouldn't surprise me to soon see the tidal wave tsunami hit New York that I predicted a couple years ago. It's out there, and I am working on a New York piece specifically, so keep an eye out for that. I'm working on two things. I just got really busy the past week and this week, but I will get both of those finished. I started video and taping them and so forth, but I haven't gotten any further than that. So now we're going to move on to
You've Got Mail.
You've Got Mail. I got more stuff, so don't go nowhere. I got more predictions, but I'm going to take a break here to thank two people. First, somebody sent me, where'd it go? All this tea, big, gigantic tea assortment of all this tea. Too much tea for me, but tea. It's good when I have guests. And that would be this person who sent this. And I'm missing a card. There's somebody else sent me a card. I'll have to remember that next week. Joseph, I know you like tea, and I hope these cans give you some comfort. With peace, love, and light. Stay safe, and thank you for all you do. Love, Leona. Thank you, Leona, for the tea. There's a couple good ones there I can't wait to try, actually. And then someone sent me some granola. Yes, granola. Strawberry jam, cranberry jam, and some cool dream catchers. Joseph, I made strawberry jam, cranberry hot pepper jam, granola. I hope you like them. Hugs, Sharon. What's that say down the bottom? I don't have glasses. Sorry, I'm late sending this. Hey, as my daddy says, better late than never. Thank you, Sharon. Love you lots. You can send mail and things to the address down below in the description. Let's move on. I did miss a card. There was a card too, so I'm sorry. I'll read that next week. So I see a point, and again, where I said they're going to say people are being displaced because of the shifting of the planet. But really, I see over 1 billion people, sadly, being displaced, and it's more because of food and water. And remember, go back to my January predictions where I talked about the water wars and what was going to happen with the water wars. Now, I said it in the beginning, supposedly, there's only, I think it's Lake Mead, one of them's only at 25% capacity, and only 2 months worth of water that supplies, that lake supplies. Whatever lake it was, I forget which one, there's a couple of them, but Lake Mead and drawing a blank on the other one. One of them is only at 25% capacity, which feeds like Phoenix and a whole bunch of places on the West Coast. And therefore, there's only 2 months worth of water. This would make sense to what I predicted in January about water wars coming. They're coming. And Spirit's showing me the dam again, the Hoover Dam. And I still say something's going to happen with that Hoover Dam. And I believe it's part of their plan. They're going to make it look like it's terror related, or they're going to make it look like something. But it's an inside thing. Spirit shows me that being, I feel like they're going to eventually blow that thing up from the inside, kind of like they did in New York City on September 11th. I see it being wired on the inside, the Hoover Dam. It looks like it's being wired on the inside. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's an inside job. Somebody could try to get access, I guess, but we ought to hold that dam in the light. I think it has something to do with the water wars as well. There we go. Thank you, Stephen. 27%. Lake Mead, 25%. Lake Powell, that's the one I couldn't think of. Lake Powell, 2 months worth of water. Now, I don't know. We got some big storms here, and I've been living here for 3 years, and this summer is the most rain I've seen so far since I lived here, which is wonderful. But 1.2 billion people displaced from food, not from the weather changing. That could be part of it, but that's not really what it is. Most epic famine in history is heading our way this winter. I hate to say it, but it's happening. And you know what another kill shot is besides our food? Our power, our energy. And again, this is something I'm reminding you that I said was going to happen a while ago, and we're heading towards that soon. Remember what I said about Germany earlier today, where Spirit showed me and reminded me of what happened in Texas, meaning that that's likely going to happen in Germany. Power outages, energy, folks, that's the kill shot. They're already doing that with gasoline, but wait until they try to take it all away. Kind of like these solar panel things. What a joke that is. I'll tell you why it's such a joke. My tea's cold. I don't like cold tea. Because, my buddy next door got them, and I was so excited. I'm like, good, if you got them, at least I know I can hoover over there to the power outage. But what this does is he has one that, if he makes money for the extra that goes to the electric company, you know, and he don't have an electric bill anymore. But at the same time, he don't have battery backup. So if the grid goes out, that goes out. And a lot of these people getting solar panels thinking that they're good to go. But when the grid goes out, they're going to go out. It is like one of the biggest like scam type things, y'all, that are doing. Thank you, Maya. I don't know what that is. What currency that is. I've never seen that before. Where are you from, Maya? And thank you for your chat cash. So anyway, yeah. Kill shot. Energy is a kill shot. And they're going to use that kill shot this winter. So folks, another thing, one of the things I'm going to go by that my sister Tammy has is a little propane powered heater. You know, I have propane anyway, but I feel like my heat uses way too much propane, and I try to use a fire as much as I possibly can to heat up. And I close off the house because I don't need to heat up the whole house. And I just feel like my heating system takes up a lot of energy. But if the power goes out, even though my heater's propane, you still don't have a heater because it needs to run with the fan. So you need something. So that's one of the things I'm going to get really soon, you know, by October, is a propane powered backup heater to have. And I already have backup propane tanks, you know, one for my grill and a backup one, and I hope to get another backup one. Spirit showed me gas explosions. Remember I told you there would be gas explosions? There were 2 in Texas and 1 in Oklahoma. And I said that I saw big explosions, but I see more coming to Texas, and I see a big one. And maybe both Texas and Oklahoma, including a pipeline explosion. So I see a gas explosion at a gas place. Big one. A big one that really literally breaks windows in people's homes that aren't really nearby, but the most closest nearby. Spirit shows me like things nearby being leveled completely, like little buildings or shacks, which are probably part of this gas place that I'm getting this vision of right now. So again, that isn't in my notes. And then I see something happening with California as well, with one of their oil things catching fire. And this may go back because it's reminding me of a prediction that I made about a fire that starts off the coast of the West Coast. It spreads inland. So that pops in my mind as I'm seeing this big oil rig fire in California. And, you know, we know that these are probably targets of sorts, just like many of the food places have been. But something to keep an eye out for. And if you're near one of these gas or oil places, please be safe, my friends. Please. Especially if you're in Texas or Oklahoma. Texas, Spirit says, is in for a long, cold winter, along with most of the nation and the world. So I just got that message now. It reminds me again of Texas being frozen out with no power. So folks, you have to be ready for this winter and for power. It is of the utmost importance that you know that no matter what, you have a way of keeping warm, a way of cooking your food, and that you have food and water for the winter months. Because think about these sickos. They're sick. These are sick people, right? Very, very sick, demented people. And, you know, if you want to think like them and be sick and demented like them, think like them, what do they think? What a better time to get people is in the wintertime. What a better time to get people to submit to their evil than freezing you out in the wintertime, cold weather. Not the heat. They don't care about shutting your heat down or your air conditioner. No, they want to get you in the winter. And we know absolutely 100% there's patents and everything on their weather modification systems. We know they do that. Without a doubt, they did it to Texas. They froze them out on purpose, a targeted state. They're going to target Florida too with power outages and cold, which will fulfill my prediction of seeing problems with oranges and such, which hasn't occurred yet, but I did say that sometime this year. I say a lot. There's a lot of predictions that come out of my visions, but so hopefully you can keep track of them. I have to post more actually on my Subscribe Star page, the written ones. I haven't done that in a while, but I will get them up there. Two other things I got here. Did you hear about this plan to build a tri-state city between Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands? Folks, if you don't know about this, you got to look it up because it is effing creepy. I mean, like, they just get creepier and creepier with their evil agenda. They really, truly do. Like, creepier and creepier, these people. And they want to build these long building things, or whatever the hell they are, tri-state city, they call it. And it's this long thing, and that's where it's a prison. It's literally a prison that you live within. You get transportation within this long city thing that they want to build. It's like this long stretch, and it's just ridiculous. And hey, folks, this is their plan. They're planning on doing it. And the thing is they want to build this city between Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, and there's stuff in their way that's blocking them from being able to do so. So what's that mean? And I have to look at the map. I didn't look deeper into this. I only saw a little bit about it, and it was really creepy. And I saw the video of them and what they plan on doing. I think it's on the World Economic Forum's website, actually. I think that might be where it is. But look it up. Tri-state cities between Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands. And they're going to need all that land. And they're going to take that land some way or another. These are the things we got to stop. They make it, again, look lovely. Oh, we're going to help the planet. And all these people are going to live in this prison. Because it's what it is. It's a prison. Not me, y'all. Why do you think they built the FEMA camps in the United States and abroad? What do you think they're for? You think the government spent billions of dollars building these things not to use them without a plan? You mean like it's a flashback to World War II is what it seems like or sounds like. Speaking of which, again, Germany is falling. We know that. But Spirit told me that soon the EU will follow. As Germany falls, the EU will follow. And I see something happening. What's that woman's name? Oh, somebody tell me in the chat. What's her name in Germany? Angela. Oh, God, why am I drawing a blank? Because I'm hungry. That's why. Spiritman, you're hungry. Urquhart, or whatever her name is. You know what I'm talking about. That woman. She pops in my mind. She's popping in my mind. Merkel. Thank you. Merkel. Thank you. I don't know why, but it wouldn't come out of my brain today. And just think, I didn't even smoke any weed or anything. Got to have a sense of humor, especially when you see visions that I see. Yeah, Merkel pops in my mind, and I feel like something bad is going to happen to her soon. Possibly like something as simple as maybe a motor vehicle accident or a bad accident, plane, something's going to happen to her. It just came to me. And I didn't pay attention to nothing news or anything, but does she still run that country? I mean, I know she ran it into the ground, but she's still in power. She's not going to be if she is. She's not going to be around at all very soon. I feel like something's going to happen to her. I mean, like, something's going to happen to her. So to the point that she ain't going to be around at all. And I don't mean like losing a seat of power. I mean like something like tragic bad is going to happen to her. So when? I don't get a when. Maybe December or by December. Keep it in mind. Keep in mind, too, that you want to get those algorithms to show my stuff and other similar stuff on your feed. So make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you like the content. I'll be back again next Tuesday. And hopefully I'll have the 2 pieces I'm working on now out to you by the weekend or Monday at the latest. At least one of them I will, but hopefully both of them. I have half the video filmed and so forth. I love hanging out with you all. I thank you for your love and your support, your chat cash, people that send things through PayPal. Didn't anybody do that? Excuse me. And the links are down below. Yes. First, the beautiful Elizabeth D. Thank you, Elizabeth. And Sandra, you're so good to me. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this 27th episode of Tittle Tea Time Predictions Update. Much love to you. Remember the new moon. Oh, wait, that's the other thing. The full moon coming up on the 11th. The 11th is one of those days. We know they use that day. We know they do things. And it's a full moon. So I can tell you those Satanists are going to be way big time doing their little evil stuff, ceremonies and stuff on the 11th. So I expect something big to happen then. Oh, and I didn't get to talk about blowing the trumpet. I meant to bring that up. I didn't want to talk about it in depth, but I know you all are waiting for me to say something about that and what happened with the FBI American version of the KGB raiding Mar-a-Lago. I forgot all about that. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I was trying not to talk about it much because, you know, people get all upset. Folks, I told you there's a target on his back. They want to get rid of that trumpet. They do not want that trumpet blowing any longer. because that trumpet blew them up completely. And they are going to find a reason to arrest him. I guarantee they are going to do it, and there's one reason and only one reason why. They are afraid to death of him coming back and winning. And what did Night Vision say in the past, back in 2015, 2016, that he would end up in 2 terms? We all just thought it would be 2 back-to-back terms, which it probably should have been, but it wasn't. But whatever, regardless, there's still opportunity for that prediction to come into fruition. But they are going to try very hard to make that not happen. Spirit showed me today it's all just a show. And I was like, what's that mean, Spirit? It's all just a show. All of it. It's all just a show. And I don't trust any of them. I told you that before. I don't pick sides because the left wing and the right wing is the same damn bird that flies and controls everything. I don't trust any of them. But at the same time, you got to look at what's happening right now. It speaks a lot. It speaks a lot about the administration, and it speaks a lot about their fear of that man. They are afraid to death of that man. They're going to come up with false documents to try to get him to have some kind of court thing going on. Remember my visions that I said in the past that I saw him in a courtroom testifying, and I saw Hillary Clinton, the same thing. You know, she can hide 33,000 emails and kill people at Benghazi and not have anything happen. You know, we have to look at all these different things. Hunter Biden can smoke crack and make deals with China and nothing happens to him. It's unbelievable, my friends. And I told you, unbelievable, crazy stuff is going to happen. This is just beyond crossing a line. This is something that happens in a third world country. We are not yet a third world country, and if we don't start to rise up and stand up and fight these things, we're going to end up a third world country because that's what they want. That's exactly what they want. They want you to have complete control, and they are afraid to death of that man for them to come up with this. And then it just so happens that allegedly it's days before he was going to announce what I predicted, that he would run again. And I told you he was going. I told you that a long time ago. 777 people are in the room. 777 is that whole number of prophecies in the book of Revelation and a whole lot of things. So that just speaks a lot of what I just said. And the good Lord above showing us this 3 sevens. Interesting. You know why it's interesting? Because if you go back to my video I did back in 2016 on the trumpet blowing, I talked about the sevens and the whole 7 prophecy. And him actually serving 7 years before dying in the 3rd year of his 2nd term. So we'll have to keep an eye on next year, 2023, because again, if he were to have had 2 terms, it would be in June, early July. I believe Spirit told me it would be July, right after his birthday, because it's the 7th month in his 7th year running. So we'll have to see if anything happens to him next year in July. I don't doubt at all that, like, if they don't find a way to make him look like a criminal, because that's what this is all about, to make people think that, like, make it look like a criminal. Why we have criminals running our whole country, and their kids smoking crack on video with hookers. like that's just you got to think about this. This is so bizarre what's happening in the world and in our country right now. Bizarre, wild, right? Wild, really wild. It's wild. It's going to be a wild ride. But they're going to try to do something criminal, because if they do, then he can't rerun again for president. And that's why they totally came in like bat out of hell. Totally like a bat out of hell. Should sing that song, Bat Out of Hell. Swiping in on him over documents. That's just all a bunch of BS if you know the story. It's just like ridiculous. Like, I don't even like any of them, but I look at it, I'm like you gotta be like, this is ridiculous. This is like totally ridiculous. You're making our country look like a circus ring. That's what it looks like. It's sad. But I still say he's going to run, and they're not going to get anything on him. You got to remember, go back to, again, 2016 and 2017 predictions. I told you they were going to try to impeach him twice, and that they would fail at that. And that's exactly what happened. Tried twice, failed twice. So I say again and predict today that they will try to arrest him. Then I don't doubt that they try to put him in handcuffs so that the TV and the mass media can show you all this on TV. Instead of, in most cases, if somebody had some kind of charge against them, the lawyer finds out and you go and you turn yourself in. No, they would want to make this, I'll call the press and make sure the press is there, right? That's what they want. But Spirit said to me today that they're going to fail at their mission. They're going to fail at pretty much most of their missions coming up in the future. But wow, how bizarre, right? How bizarre. It's just, I was just like, I told you shocking things were going to happen, and that's pretty shocking. That was pretty shocking. Nobody expected that. You know, people thought, yeah, maybe, but nobody expected that. So that's nothing compared to the shocking that's coming, my friends. Shocking. Shocking. Anyway, I got to go use the restroom because I've been with you and I drank a whole cup of tea and it's time to go, you know what? The letter after O. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be back next Tuesday and I will have something uploaded. So that's the other thing. When I upload videos, not all you see it. So you got to set your notifications. Thanks again for your love and support. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter down below. And remember, more than anything, to be the best version of you that you could possibly be. To be kind to others as you wish others to be kind to you, because we all know mean people, yeah, they suck. Have a beautiful rest of your day, my beautiful friends. And then namaste. Spiritman JT signing off. Much love.